Hi there folks, and welcome to this episode of Michael's 3D World. Today I'm going to talk about a product I purchased with my own money. This is not a sponsored video by any stretch of the imagination, but it's a product made by Wham Bam. It's a new, I wouldn't say it's new, it's been around I think a little while. The brochure stuff says it's a new company, but this is called a build plate surface, a Wham Bam build plate surface. It's a flexible surface, a magnetic flexible surface that you put on top of your aluminum bed. It's a self-adhesive magnet, and then your spring steel plate, and then what I've got is a PEX surface on top of that spring steel plate. Let me show you what it's all about. Let me show you how to install it, and let's see how well it works. And we'll see at the end of this video with the results. Well guys, I got something new here I'm going to try out. I got a recommendation from a guy at work that likes to use this particular brand of build system, flexible build system. So I'm going to go through you here. I already installed it on my Ender 3 V2, and I'm currently doing a test print right now as we speak. But I'm going to show you the install of this stuff. It's pretty neat. It's a magnetic bed. The problem with some magnetic beds is when you're running at temperatures for ABS 100, 110 degrees on the bed temp, that the magnetivity gets lost due to the heat. So this one is will handle up to 150 degrees and still hold. And it's packaged very well. You get some triple-aught steel wool. If you get your packages and it's bent up, tore up, make sure you send it back, because if it's bent, it won't work. We're going to go through the install of this on my CR10, because I've been having some adhesion issues, and there's, people say, you try this, do that, try this, do that. I'm going to try this because, this isn't a cheap proposition by no means. And what it comes with, like this is a single Wham Bam system that just has one build plate. On the Ender 3, I actually bought the one that had two spring steel build plates, and it is going to be handy because when you're done with one print, you can just magnetically lift this off, throw the other one on, hit go again, versus having to let it cool down so it releases. Now this comes with three things. It comes with your self-adhesive magnetic base. It comes with your, you can see this thing's got a pretty good magnetism to it. It holds really well. You want to make sure you don't overflex this. And then it comes with a PEX that goes on top that you'll peel and stick and put on top of your flex plate. And then the steel wool is to scuff this super slick surface up so that your stuff sticks. And it's supposed to be good for ABS, PET, PLA, blah, blah, blah. Matter of fact, let's just go in the package here real quick, because it'll have some, I believe it on the other one I did, it showed some recommended, PLA, PETG, ABS. No, they're showing the type of surface, PLA, PET, ABS, using the PEX surface. You can also get a PEI surface. You can get a PC surface. I got the PEX surface because I want to be able to do the ABS, is my long-term goal. So let's get busy installing it. I'm going to show you how I'm going to install it on mine. Now you can hear over here the old Ender 3 that doesn't have the silent steppers on it, making all kinds of noise. Then you go right over here to the Ender 3 V2, which you can't even tell is running. I'm doing a single layer test print real quick here to see what things I'm dialing in the bed. Looks like this could actually come up a little bit more. I like doing the single layer 5-dot print and fine tuning my layers, because usually once I get it adjusted, you don't have to move it. The other thing I also do is I do my bed temperature, or I do all this testing with it at temperature that you're going to be printing with. That way it comes out really good, really accurate every time. As you can see here, this has a little bit of peeling here. And what I do is when I pull this off of here, I can see if it pulls apart from itself. That means it's not getting mashed down hard enough into the build plate. And I just make tweaks from there, because I don't have a touch off system on here. I just use this method, and then you don't have to touch it for weeks or months unless you have to take this thing apart. So I've got the heavy duty springs under here. Let's get back to what we're talking about here. Wham Bam. So on the Wham Bam system, you guys are gonna love this. It comes with Wham Bam Thank You Man. Everybody likes stickers. Get you some stickers. Comes with 2 stickers in each kit so far that I've noticed. First thing I want to do, like I did here last night, is you want to clean this off. Don't touch it with your hands. Clean this off with some alcohol or some acetone or something. Get it completely grease, oil, and lint and dust free, 110%. Once you've done that, it's time to go to the Wham Bam magnet. This could be a drinking game. Every time he says Wham Bam, you got to take a drink of beer. I think by the end of this video, and I'm not sponsored by these guys, I paid my own hard-earned money for this stuff. And I'll give you the prices, the link to the description. The link will be in the description below. So I don't make a dime off of putting that down there, but I like to help people, my viewers, get the best thing they can get for the money. So I've got this peeled off of here, and I'm barely touching the edges here, and I'm going to get this thing lined up. As close as I can get it, because once you stick it, you're done. There's no second tries. There is no second tries. There are no second tries. Now, as you can see, this was designed for the CR10. And you want to press this down. You saw how I carefully laid it down flat. You do not want a bubble in this thing, because that'll wreck your build surface. Your build surface needs to be flat. And I've tried just the regular surface that came on the machine. I've used that for a while. Wasn't unhappy with it. Then I went to a mirror tile, because mirrors are really flat. And as you can see over here, still using a mirror tile over here. Works great. I'm gonna leave a mirror tile there unless Wham Bam wants to send me some more, and I'll do another video for him. But I'm not doing a video for him here either. This video is for my viewing audience. So now we've got this rubbed out, laid out, looking really good. Like I said, you get one chance to stick it, and you might get a little sticker shock when you see the price. Next thing we're going to do is make sure the back of this is clean. This is our steel flex plate. We're going to go ahead and lay that on here. Woo! Woo! That holds really good. That's not going to slip around on your table. Guarantee. It ain't going to slip. Almost scares me. Almost scares me. Woo! Diggity doggone, that scares me. So that's easy to install, right? Now I'm going to take some alcohol. Now, if you guys don't do this, this is kind of handy. If you got some 91% isopropyl, I just put them in these little spray bottles. You can get them at Walmart, Target, all these places. They have them in the cosmetic area, and they're handy. So I got one by every machine. And you don't overuse your alcohol that way, because that would be what? Warning, dad joke. That would be alcohol abuse. All right, we've got that. I'm following the instructions that Wham Bam says. You know, use some alcohol with a paper towel. Get this thing clean, 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 clean. You don't want anything preventing adhesion. Now, my paper towels, they'll have a little lint. I'll go back with a microfiber and just give her a quick sweep with my microfiber. That takes care of any lint that's there. Some people just use straight up microfiber. I get that. That's personal preference, personal choice. You do what you do, I do what I do. Now, this is the trickier part. We got our Wham Bam PEX, right? And it's got our 3M adhesive all over the back of it. And so I'm gonna just do a test lay down here just to kind of see how things look and go, yep, that's gonna line up like the big dog. And you can do this part, you can do it laying on a flat surface on a table. I'm just doing this because it's, guess what, this ain't gonna slide around on me. That's gonna stick right there where it's at. Works out really well. So now I'm gonna carefully peel, hope I got you in the picture here. I'm gonna carefully peel off this backing. Come on. There we go. Now what I would recommend here is don't get your fingers on the underside at all, because you'll leave a fingerprint there that'll be there forever. So if you grab it like this, see, you see right there, there's a fingerprint. It's there for life. Then we're going to go over here and tip it up so just the corners touching, and try to get this in position across the length of the back of it. Once you feel pretty good about it, just kind of bend it down a little bit like this and work your hand back and forth like that. And you can do that while you're peeling the under piece off. You do what I do, you won't go wrong. So now we got no bubbles. We got no, where did I learn my English? We don't have any bubbles. Act talking like I don't got no education. Alright, so now that we've got that, we want to mash this down same way we did the other thing. Just work it in. Make sure everything's pushed down tight. All your adhesion is working like a champ. That's how simple this is to install, folks. It's not that hard. Not that hard at all. Now, what you don't see that you have here, you're getting thirsty? Maybe I should say Wham Bam. There you go, take a drink. Alright. There's a thin layer, protective layer on here. See that? Throw that away. Done. Now me personally, you could do this on the machine if you want. I personally say don't do it, because you'll get these little steel wool fibers all over your machine. So now we're going to take our triple aught steel wool and go back over to the table. See, that's a beautiful looking surface there, ain't it? Alright, back over to the show here. Back on my workbench. We're going to take the steel wool, came in our bag, and now we got to scuff this surface. And we're just going to work this back and forth. And if you get in the light right, you probably can't see it in the camera, but if you get in the light right, you can see it's getting a haze to it. And we're not trying to remove a ton of material. Triple aught won't remove a lot of material, period. But it will scuff that surface to give that your ABS, PTE, ABS, DRZ, PLA, ABS, BDU, BR549. Leave in the comments if anybody knows where the comment, the BR549 comes from. I'll remind you, it rhymes with yeehaw. Alright, so that's cleaned up. Now you got a bunch of, see all these little steel wool fibers? You probably can't see that, are all over the place here. You don't want that on your bed, because it's, guess what, it's magnetic. So we're going to go ahead and clean the table off real quick. And I'm going to go over here with some alcohol. Now, if this video never airs, if it's on the air and you guys are watching, it's because I had some good success with this product. Otherwise, this video won't be seen by anybody. it'll go deleted. It'll be in my electronic trash can, and then it'll delete it from the electronic trash can, so it's gone forever. So now look at that. We got us a nice prepared surface, and you can probably see how hazy that looks in the light. Let's go back over and put it on. Alrighty, we have the single layer disc loading again. I changed some things on my parameters. I'm using, in my setup, I'm using a bed temperature of 60, a nozzle temp of 200, and I'm using a feed rate of 50. And this is a single layer, and I'm using to tune this in with. Once I get this tuned in, I'm going to do a filament guide print. You guys have been asking about this one. It's a filament guide print here on my CR10 that's been working very well for me. I'm going to leave a link to that in the description to Thingiverse. I'll get that uploaded today. I find it very helpful, and let's see what we can do here. Alright, this is a 5-minute print, single layer, 5 disc with a skirt. I like doing the skirt part around it because I get to see the layers, how they connect together, and I can fine tune it longer as it works around. This looks like it's not flattening out a lot, so I'm going to just up it a little bit. You'll get used to looking at this. I'm looking for adhesion. I'm looking for them to be touching together. I'm looking for the thickness of it. I'm looking at that it's not too thin, but not too thick. So it's actually giving a good mash down into that adhesion plate. So far, so good there. The proof will be when it cools off, and if these are actually bonded together side by side. Because if it's not, that doesn't give you a lot of holding strength there to the table. Main thing you're trying to, you know, you want to get your bonding layers between layers working good, but you also need it stuck to this plate, because if it doesn't stick to this plate, then all bets are off as to how it's going to print. So far, that's looking pretty good. I'm just going to bring this corner up just a touch, just give it a little turn on the wheel here. The back corners look good. That looks good. This one looked like it was a little thick. When you get used to your colors and seeing what they look like, you'll see how thin or thick they are. It's time in the saddle here, folks. Everything's about time in the saddle and getting good at seeing, recognizing errors. And you don't just learn that overnight. I haven't been doing this very long now. I've learned a ton of stuff, to the point where I pulled this head all the way apart once. I pulled the board out of this thing once already to replace it because the extruder drive on the board went out on me. I learned how to flash the board. Not flash the board, but I guess it's what they call updating firmware. So far, that's looking pretty good. We're going to let that roll here, and we'll look at it when it's done. I think I've got everything dialed in perimeter-wise, so if all my 5 dots come out looking nice and clean and laid down tight onto the table, I'm ready to start a print after that. Well, so far that all looks like that laid down real nice. Our bed temperature is still 54. Let's go ahead and lift this off of here. One thing about lifting it off of here, it's going to cool down a little quicker too. That looks really good. All that's adhered down here, adhered to the table real good, and it's all stuck to itself really good. No separation. That's what you want. So you got that all the way around. Look at that, all stuck together. That's perfect. That's exactly what I want. I like it. Everything looks really good. Look at that, stuck tight, no gaps. That's what I call a pretty perfect leveling job there. That one has a little separation in the middle. But we got 4 corners. I'm gonna call that good. Okay, we've got the rough leveled the table with some paper. Now I'm going to do the same 5-dot single layer type of thing on the CR10 here with the Wham Bam system on it. We're going to see how it looks. Now the original glass plate that came with the CR10 from Creality, I wouldn't call it crazy flat. It had variation for sure. So then I put a piece of the glass tile on here. Had really good luck with the glass tile, but I couldn't get ABS to stick, and time will tell if that works. This looks like it's leveled up pretty good. I'm liking how this is laying out so far. Just with my rough leveling with paper, looking pretty good. Looking pretty darn good. If this comes out, we'll start us a print. See how our print comes out. Now, one of the other reasons I wanted to do this Wham Bam system so I could get maximum adhesion to a surface, because this PEX surface seems to be a much preferred surface by a lot of people. Well, what you have on, like, see right back here, these 2 independent pieces, they're going to come up about, boy, 4 or 5 inches tall. So little thin towers that are going to come up. So that bed adhesion is like super critical that happens. And that's just strictly support material to come up and create some little pieces way up high. But this is the best way to print this particular item for its strength, because you need the strength in certain directions. So your layers need to be in certain directions. So I'm stuck kind of printing it in this way. So far, this looks like it's going to work pretty good. Time will tell. We'll let it run through, and hopefully I'll show you the finished product when it's done. I feel it's going to be a nice thing about the system is, you know, when you got stuff stuck down and you're wrestling around and you're tweaking things along on your table, you can disrupt your table, your leveling and all that fun stuff. Well, here, it's just a matter of the magnetic resistance, and she comes up. And then you could do all your tweaking and twisting. Man, that scares me every time. Mercy. Give a poor boy a heart attack. So that's ready to rock and roll. I'm gonna go over here and look at my test print. Let's just do some analysis here. So as you can see here, this peeled up. Everything's cooled off. See, I can take this off and I can work on it somewhere else. And see, that pulled right loose, but see how those are stranded? I don't know if you guys can see it. I'll make sure you get that in the picture. You can see how these are stranded and not stuck together. That means I'm too far away from the print surface with my nozzle. As another indicator here. Well, the nice thing is so far, this thing cooled right down. And I'm just taking my fingernail, boom. You see how that one's it's not pushed down tight enough against the bed. So we're gonna make some adjustments and give it another run. Now, I touched that. Whoa! Get this back on here. And we'll give it another run. I'm kind of show you what I do. Let's make this a all comprehensive, useful video here, folks, for the Wham Bam product. There's your chance to take another drink. Don't want anybody going thirsty. All right. So now I'm going to go ahead and give it a little spritz. And the cool thing about this, if you start having adhesion problems, from what I understand, is you just take that steel wool and you kind of, after you clean it like this, you can go ahead and scuff it up again and go from there. We're down to 38 degrees C and the adhesion is fantastic. Oh, that's well, that's come out really good. We're going to do a what's called a poly tower test. It's on Thingiverse. I want to try next. It's kind of test the printer head more than anything, but let's give it a run. Well, so far I can say I'm pretty happy with this Wham Bam build plate. As you can see here, this thing is it's held on really well. The cool part is, if I want to now, I can just take this off while it's still hot. This thing's still hot to the touch. Actually, it's almost uncomfortable. But I can flick it like that, break it loose. Whereas on your other build surfaces, you'd have to wait. And just like that, I can hit go again. And I've got my part I made. This one I put a brim on it. But I can pop my support material off and we're ready to go. We can print another object, which I'm going to do here shortly. So the only thing I did do different, the steel wool, in my opinion, I printed a couple things and I saw it starting to curl and lift. Now I printed this at 200 degrees with the PLA for the nozzle temp, and I printed it at bed temp of 60 degrees Celsius. This is all Celsius, right? And I found it starting to lift and curl on some of these bigger objects, and I thought, well, and a guy at work, I don't know if he wants me to mention his name, so I won't, had told me he had scuffed his plate up with 200 grit sandpaper. So I didn't go quite that far yet. I wanted to leave myself some wiggle room, so I took some 320 wet dry sandpaper, just like I did with the steel wool, and I scuffed this whole surface, and then I cleaned it thoroughly with alcohol, and she holds like a vice now. The true test is going to be, will it hold with ABS? And that will be in the next video. I'll be doing more work with ABS, I hope, and we'll see if we get positive results for that. But so far, I'm pretty happy with this, and I love the flexible plate. I love how easy it is to take on and off and get squared up. And as you can see, just by lifting it off like that, I'm not doing a lot of torquing and moving and trying to get something to pop off my build plate. The build plate stays stable and unmolested, so to speak. So I'm pretty happy with that. So far, results are positive. I'd say, why not? Wham Bam, thank you, ma'am, for sure. Well, folks, I'm going to call it a wrap for this video. The Wham Bam system works. I'm happy with it. Like I said, I'm not sponsored. I paid for both of these. Oh, look at this. This one just got done. It was running while I was doing the video, so look here. Here's another one. Hot off the presses, literally hot off the presses. Look at that. I can just give it a little bit of a flex. She's free and clear. Now, if I wanted to, this I got the Wham Bam double pack, which gave me 2 of these flexible surfaces that I've got prepared, ready to go. So if I wanted to, I could actually just pop this one off, set it aside, and throw my second one on. But as you can see, I'm ready to print again, just that fast. Here's my second one, all done, ready to go. Very good stuff. Well, there you have it, folks. That's the Wham Bam system. I'm tickled as I can be with how it performs. It is not cheap. To set this up, this Ender 3 V2 with a plate with 2, count them, 2 flexible metal plates, spring steel plates. One's on there now working, and I got one in the wings waiting to go on. And with this CR10 with 1 plate, I do believe the price for both, shh, don't tell my wife, was $183. Now you think that's probably ridiculous. Well, yes and no. And I'm going to tell you why. You don't go buy a Ferrari and put some cheap made tires on a Ferrari and expect it to perform. I kind of feel that this is my mindset on why I did this. And these aren't very expensive machines at all. Between these two, between these two machines, you got about $800-900 in the machines themselves, and then you spend $183 on a printing surface to go on them. But that's just how it is. So far, I'm happy with these. These have worked out very well. It's easy to service the pieces. It's easy to take the parts off the plates. The cleaning, when I had the glass on it and I had the mirror on it, you had to be so particular about making sure it was clean. You still have to make sure these are clean as well, but just printing plastic on top of a piece of this PEX seems to do something. Seems to be something good about it. So anyway, hope you guys found this video informative and helpful in making decisions on your 3D printer. This is Michael saying get out there and have some fun, design, inspire, enjoy life, and I'm out.